One shot. Let's begin. Tsuki no Yoru, The Night of the Moon by Taniguchi Jiro. Translated and uploaded by Manga Sketchbook and Das. Alright, we read, we react, we relive. Let's begin, everybody. Tsuki no Yoru, translated by Aki Akane, proofread by Decan, edited by Junshi, coordinated by Tu. Manga Sketchbook book.org. Alright, let's begin. Tsuki no Yoru, The Night of the Moon by Judah Taniguchi. The moon was full. Its light shone with a strange brightness, casting distinct shadows on the familiar string. Eh? Was there an alley here? Meow! Without thinking, I entered the alley, following after the black cat. As I walked, it somehow felt as though my soul was floating away. Meow. Ugh. Rumble, 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 rumble. Oh, this. I found myself looking up at the broad sky. Do you know what those are? Eh? They're snow clouds. Looking up at them like this, it seems as though they're not moving at all. But in reality, they're moving faster than a hurricane tearing across the surface of the earth. It would be interesting to capture the sky on canvas. Maybe I should make a point of mentioning it to the painter, Haraguchi-kun. I wondered, what exactly was going on? What happened to me? I was at a loss. My thoughts just kept going around in circles. Hey, is the train too loud for you? Yeah, I answered automatically. I think so, too. I can't get used to changing trains. Rumble, 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 rumble. If it weren't for the station master, I wouldn't be able to manage at all. In the last few years, the number of trains has multiplied ridiculously. At the same time, they become more convenient. They also become more troublesome. The young, are lucky to have so much vigor and vitality. By the way, how old are you? I'm 23. Then you're only 7 years younger than I am. In 7 years, a man could generally become something. Nevertheless, the days just pass us by. 7 years isn't all that long. It's just around the corner. I wasn't sure what to believe. I found myself nonchalantly following this man. Somehow, it seemed like we knew each other. A vague memory flashed in the back of my mind. This very scene, this very conversation. It felt like I'd seen it all before somewhere. I have to do some shopping over there. Yes, and I found myself hastily chasing after him. It was a gift shop. As I entered, what do you think of this? Uh, is it for your sweetheart? No, I was thinking of getting it for my sister. I should get something too, as a memento. A memento? What about something like this? I don't quite get it. What would you need it for? For getting myself lost. For being a stray sheep. Stray sheep? I can't quite understand you. What could you be thinking of? From there, we walked on until we reached Masago Machi. Here, this place, the best restaurant in the area. Welcome. Oh my, I'm very hungry. I'm having a cutlet. How about you? Rice curry. Yes, and beer as well. Who is that person? I believe he's a lecturer in the humanities department. Still, is it unusual to see someone like him in a restaurant that serves Western food? Normally he goes to the soba place in Owawake. Even in summer he eats the kamaje udon. Udon is usually served chilled in summer and hot in winter. Kamaje udon is a hot variety. His students gossip about him having stomach problems. Do you know him? Uh, well, I have a feeling I've seen him somewhere. True. Delicious, isn't it? Here, try a bit of this cutlet. Nice. How was it? Thank you so much. Because of you, I don't feel quite as lost. I have to go visit my younger sister now. Until then, we went our separate ways after the meal. Being alone made me feel anxious, but I really couldn't keep following that man everywhere he went. The sun was already beginning to set, with no idea where to go. I just went wherever my feet took me. When I got to the top of a long hill, meow. You are. Is it possible that we've met before? Yes, the other day at the hospital, and also at the lake. What is it you're looking at? I will let you guess. Is it the cat? No. Is it that large tree over there? No. I don't think I'll be able to guess correctly. I've been watching that cloud for a while, and that brilliant orange sky. Meow! Huh? Suddenly, the woman was gone. Led by the black cat, I walked deeper and deeper into the alley. Hey, cat! Wait! Somehow, it felt like I was gently floating in midair. Meow. There is something about nights with a full moon. Black cats are moon chanters. They secretly travel through time. Phew! Stray sheep. Stray sheep. The end from Sanshiro by Natsumi Sosuke. Nice. I enjoyed that one. I'm just curious before I look at it to see if they've done any other stuff. Hmm. Seems like they do a lot of historical stuff. Um, Interesting. They have kind of, I don't know if old style is the right word, but it's very homey, I guess is the right way to put it. It feels, how do I put this? Like, I feel cottagecore has a very distinct style where it seems like there's a lot of romanticization of nature. This, I would say, is almost kind of the same thing. There's like a sense of nostalgia and reverence for the past. I actually didn't think too much that it's drawn a little bit older. It just felt oddly appropriate for this. Because normally it'd be like, okay, anime style, this, that, or the other. But this just felt kind of correct, if that makes a lot of sense. And maybe it's just the lighting and how beautifully it's colored. Because one thing that happens with a lot of manga that is colored is that they will like just not get the right shades for a lot of things. You know, they'll like put the wrong color shade on a person, they'll put the wrong, it's a little bit too dark or it's a little bit too contrasty, or it just doesn't feel like it naturally belongs, right? Like, you know, mangaka often work with, you know, pens and pencils. And so to add color could throw things off for sure. But like even this guy, like, you know, a little bit of a lighter shade, it feels like a very gentle color, if that makes sense. It feels like it's very person-like while still being cartoon, but also fits the world, and the lighting is just beautiful. And I guess this orange hue really works because of the orange sky that goes along. And I was a little contrasted and was like, oh, right, it's black and white. And maybe that's kind of the difference, is because in this kind of, I guess, is this watercolor maybe? In this sort of watercolor, world, this beautiful beautiful world, right? Like even here you see the cat is drawn and painted well, and then here this like beautiful dimension, you see the like light come from the end and this wonderful contrast. Yeah, I think this is watercolor, and I'm a big fan of watercolor. It just feels so right. And then when it gets here I can be like, oh, okay, yeah, the older style just isn't as the same. And you know, obviously this was an artistic choice, which I really like. See, like you have this one here, it's like, okay, it's talented, but definitely a little different feel. But then when he goes into this beautiful world full of color, it's just so, it's just so romantic. It's just so nostalgic. And I don't know if there's a word for nostalgia for something you've never experienced before, but it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, maybe if I went back there, it wouldn't be so bad. I'm usually not one to revere the past because, you know, I've studied the past quite frequently, and to be perfectly honest, most history is pretty miserable with little bits of progress, but this just feels oddly comforting, I think is a good way to put it. And what are they even doing? They're not really doing too much. They're just going, they're eating, they're being kind to a stranger, and they get a little gift for each other, or, for themselves or for their sister. And yeah, it's like, oh, they're so kind to each other. And the railroad is coming and they're gonna add technology, and this is obviously like I guess a little bit before Japan got industrialized. And it's like, oh, okay, the extra bit of noise can go and cause a problems. But then you have people who walk around. And it's like, oh, would I want to live in a society where I just walk around everywhere? And I think, being in America, I have a decently walkable city, but I wouldn't be able to walk to work. Oh, I could, I guess. It's like an hour walk, though. Like, walk to work, walk back, walk to the grocery store, maybe the local one. I could probably get around without a car. It would just be that life is significantly more inconvenient. Um, and then it's like, right, things become more convenient, they become more troublesome. And in a sense, he's right. Like, if you're just living in the countryside and then you're just kind of enjoying the vibes, you're eating simple, not much for internet or technology. You just kind of need to worry about your crops, but the problem is that because we're deadly if you fail. But in a case like this, okay, what do I need to worry about? Well, I need to worry about my computer, right? There have been many instances where, like, okay, my computer isn't functioning, or this, that, or the other. Or before I record, I'm like, okay, for some reason, my recording software undid all my pre-made settings, or I knocked something to the side and it's a little bit different, or like this little bit of lighting is a good example, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, now we got a little bit of decent lighting here, but then what type of lighting do you want to figure? And then there's just a lot of extra small things you could potentially think about in your day to day, right? And that's like a big thing. So yeah, I mean, this is I think the philosophy behind it is valid and it's interesting. Although I wondered to see someone like him in a restaurant that serves Western food. Um, that's interesting, and because he's wearing a very Western outfit. And so, in a case like this, I guess they're so used to seeing him in more traditionally Japanese places when you think it'd be the opposite, where it's like, oh, okay, he wants to go Western food is home food, but no, he's so used to trying other types of food that him going here in a Western spot is normally a little bit strange. Even in the summer, he used to kamage udon. For me, I very rarely care for the temperature of food when I'm depending on the weather outside. I'll eat ice cream when it's cold. I'll eat like hot ramen when it's hot outside. That's even happened one time on a date. Like I went on a date and it was hot, and I was like, okay, let me let me get some ramen. Or like, hey, let's get some. And then she commented like, I ramen on a hot day. And then I was like, oh, okay, fine. Where do you want to go? And she's like, no, 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 no. Ramen's okay. And it's like, all right. Obviously, there wasn't a second date after this, that, and the other. So nice, but not nice. Whatever. Um, but it's interesting, right? Because the idea of stomach problems and this, and then him just going to meet this geisha, and then talking about the sky, appreciating the nature, and I guess maybe that's kind of a lot of this theme, and maybe I'm just choosing this implicit or subconscious, but I don't read these in advance. Maybe I just need to go and appreciate nature a little bit more. That might not be the worst thing as I like pause and enjoy life. I don't know what this is, but it's neat. I thought it was to catch the fish. But awesome, awesome. So, with all that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for being born, y'all. Peace out.